Hello again, and welcome to Avatar Tea Time with Beav and Jess.
Yes.
Welcome.
Cheers, baby.
Yeah, so today's episode, we are covering the Waterbending Scroll.
Yes. The Waterbending Scroll, episode 9.
Episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I did want to... So what had happened over this weekend is the TUDUM event, Netflix event, where they were kind of showing a lot of upcoming, seasons for Netflix shows and stuff. And Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action, that was something that they had announced that they were gonna show something. We weren't sure, but they were gonna give us a sneak peek to something, and so that happened this past weekend. And I wanted to start off by talking about that before we jump into this episode. So, what are your thoughts?
Yes. I mean, you and I have talked about it a few times, and then we're always like, wait, we should save these thoughts for the podcast so we can talk about it. We personally, as many of like comments that we've seen on all the Avatar like people's stuff, we have a mixture of emotions. I mean, of course, the disclaimer is this is nostalgia for us, so we just have like super big high expectations, I think, or just like,
I agree.
Yeah,
because we follow a ton of like Instagram handles that their whole thing is Avatar: The Last Airbender, and dang, like, we were super underwhelmed with what they what they showed us, but just like what you're saying, I think that it is just so nostalgic for us that it just comes with the highest expectations ever. But the people on these Instagram handles, like under the comments and stuff, are brutal.
They are.
Yeah, like we were laughing, but at the same time, we're just like, I'm glad that we're not the only ones that felt that way.
Yeah, correct.
To get into it, like we just we were expecting more. We wanted more.
We did want more. I mean, we did, like, the minute like the event started, the TUDUM event, we were on. We were watching, and we were just like, when is it coming on? When are they gonna announce something? Even we went and we watched that special event and
the day before
where the kids, the actors for the gang, I guess not the gang fully because Zuko's in there.
Right, yeah.
But Zuko and Katara and Sokka, we watched their little special appearance the day before. So we were getting hyped for it the day before, and then the day of the TUDUM event, we were there and waiting.
Yeah.
2 hours later.
2 hours.
They finally like showed Avatar: Last Airbender stuff, and we were like so excited, so excited. And then when they just came on and all they showed was just like their first looks, we were just like, "Aw, that's it."
Right.
2024.
I mean, 2024. At least we know and have kind of
we are happy about that.
A time frame, but that is just so far away. And I mean, I personally was just not super impressed with the look, if I'm being honest. And I know that is like, that's kind of unfair. Because it's just still pictures, but just wasn't super happy with it. I feel like I'm being such a downer right now, but I mean, I think that the Gordon, can't remember his last name.
I can't remember his last name either,
anyways,
but
the actor that's playing Aang, I think he looks good. I honestly think that he looks like Aang. But the other three, I wasn't super impressed with like what they look like, and I hate being like that because I totally understand and can recognize that, you know, I have high expectations and I'm holding it up against you know, the original. So yeah.
And it's like, I mean, we get it too. It's like hard to recreate an animation, you know?
Yeah.
And like put that into like live action is a whole other level. And without, I don't know, like we're adults now. So we're like, we don't want to see another kid show. We want to see like kind of it adapted to like our age group, I guess, for now. Sure. But at the same time want to keep that nostalgia. So it's like everybody's saying these 4 specifically, they have big shoes to fill. Yeah. You know? So.
I think we had talked about that throughout. It's just, you know, starting on the Friday when they kind of came on stage, and that was the first time they were like, oh yeah. And then even Saturday is like, man, that's a lot for these young kids to just be feeling. And I honestly just kind of felt bad too when I was reading some of the comments. And it's just like, I guess like where it has to be is that you just kind of have to be grateful that they're redoing something that is so nostalgic, and that does mean a lot to us, and they're making, you know, that come to life. But yeah, I kind of felt bad when I was reading those comments, and I was like, I really hope that like these kids are not reading some of these, that you know, because it's so it's so ruthless. It personal upon them. It is. And it's so ruthless, and I just think that people like forget that like not to go down this path, but like I think that people forget that like people have feelings at the end of the day. And a lot of these people that are on these apps and stuff, I think that they just like leave comments without even thinking. And you know, we felt frustrated, but like some of the things I was reading, I was just like come on, bro. A little too far. But I'm excited. I'm still excited. And this is like honestly, I'm just like hoping that what Netflix is doing is that they're just playing it so close to the chest, you know, because they didn't want to give us anything. This was like kind of the first look into this world, and maybe they just did it where those aren't their real you know, costumes or whatever. They're just making it just seem so, or like I said, like before, they're playing it close to the chest, and maybe they're not trying to give anything away too much until they actually release it.
Maybe there's one thing to be like a still picture and like motion, you know, to the especially the clothing and everything. I will say I think that these actors, they'll do a good job. I think that they so. Like just kind of seeing them talk about, you know, the Avatar, the Last Airbenders, like you can tell that they genuinely, they're fans.
They're fans, and they understand that it's like huge for people. So yeah, I think they'll do good. And shout out to them. And I hope you guys aren't reading any of these bad comments or negative comments from
the criticism. Yeah, it's criticism, and so it's not like against their personal characters. So I hope that they see that.
They see that, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to ask you, how do you feel about that first part? That first part though. They did show, although like we hope it's not the intro, but
where they were showing like the different elements. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I thought it was cool, and yeah, we got so pumped at that part.
We did. We saw that and we were like, yes, let's go! Like just so excited for it. Just like hope, but like watching other people's videos, it was like we had that. There was somebody else's idea, and then it like became one of our ideas. Like, oh, is that gonna be the intro for every single episode instead of the bending characters, like what you said? And yeah, I really hope not.
I hope not, but I mean, it is maybe they'll try to make it just kind of more serious or darker, because that's how I felt. Like, honestly, when I was like hearing the sound effects and like the different symbols coming up, I almost like felt like it was like Harry Potter in a way. You know how Harry Potter, like that beginning,
right? Like, you're talking about the third one,
yeah,
when it starts to be dark.
Yeah, when it starts to be dark. So, and
then towards the other books, like 6th and 7th. I see what you're saying.
So maybe they'll try to do it more serious.
Maybe,
but
kind of hope so.
Yeah,
low key.
I mean, I honestly, like, I think that we were talking, and I was just like, before we saw the event, like, I was just like, babe, you know what they should do? You should just hear this, like, fire bending, and you can't see anything, but then it just, like, switches to Zuko, and he's just, like, training on or something, and it's just so this cool, crazy fire bending. But like I said, maybe they're playing it so close to the chest that everyone's just going to be so shocked once it comes out, and that's what I'm going to hold on to.
I know. Oh, I hope so.
That's what I'm going to hope.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some really cool, mature characters.
Yeah, they do.
Or like actors that are the adults.
Yeah.
And these kids they're new to acting, it seems like. At least seems like some of them have had previous roles, but not so like main character roles
like
in the past. So, according to what we've seen.
Yeah.
And so I could be mistaken, but they are acting with some big characters and big actors. So I feel like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they'll be led in good directions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah. We have some like disappointment and like just nervousness, but also hope.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I think, like, I'm just thinking right now, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to be positive about you know, whatever they release. It's like,
just be happy with
it. It's happy. Like, we're always going to have the animated series.
Right.
And this is just really cool and dope that they're going to do
something extra.
Yeah, something extra that, you know, hopefully is cool. So, yeah.
It will be. Hopefully. I mean, a huge thing also. I mean, the old live action, was it?
Yeah.
That's irrelevant. We won't get into it or talk about it at all. But I think there's always that disappointment from that. And so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are hurt.
People are hurt. Yeah. I know I was.
Yeah, people are hurt.
I was just like, I didn't remember watching it in the theater and being like, so like, what did I just watch?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Do you remember watching it in the theater?
That is like honestly how I felt watching the TUDUM thing. Like when you were sitting in there watching that first one by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of like the feelings I had where I was just like, oh,
like no.
Oh dang. It's not like that cool.
Right.
But yeah.
But they didn't even show us anything.
Yeah, they didn't show us anything, so I'm not gonna say that. And whatever, you know, Netflix makes is gonna be a step up from that one. So
you're right. It will be. Yeah. It will be a step up from that.
Yeah. You know what else? Kind of just moving away from that and just bringing up another point is that this has been really cool. Like recording and talking about the Avatar and just going in depth with it.
Yeah.
And we were playing pickleball the other night with my sister and her husband and his family. And we were just talking about the podcast, and my sister, we've kind of kept it a little low key.
We have,
But my sister was just like, oh my gosh, you guys have a podcast? What's it about? And we're like, Avatar, The Last Airbender. And she like,
heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. And
let's go.
She wants to be a guest. And it was just fun to just, you know, talk about that with her. And there's been like some close friends that we've told and are potentially wanting to come on. But yeah, I just like thought about how growing up, you know, like it is so nostalgic, and then I just forget that it's like so nostalgic for other people.
For other people, yes.
And
like, wait, you watched it too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I remember we had like this little portable DVD player, and Monique was like saying how like the three, I don't know if it was for like Christmas or for somebody's birthday, but we got all 3 books on DVD.
Wait, really?
And yeah, and so we'd always be playing it on that portable DVD player, like when we were like going anywhere, like flying, if we were driving or anything on vacations, like we'd have that and we'd be playing it. And I was laughing because my sister was just like, that was like our most prized possession growing up, and it really was. Like, we'd be so careful with the DVDs, like we'd take them out and then just be like, all right, put it right into the little slot and make sure that it doesn't get scratched. So,
oh, that's cute. I love that.
Yeah, so it's exciting. It's been really fun.
Exciting.
Yeah, eventually just having people on.
Yeah.
She for sure wants to come on.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yes. If any of you listeners also want to join us for Avatar Tea Time, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Email us. Our email and contact and all of that is down in the notes or description or whatever you call it.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere.
Yep. All right. Well, should we get into the Waterbending Scroll?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, as requested last week, we started doing an overview about the episodes and from one of our listeners, and we really like it, so we thought we'd do it again for this episode as well, and continue doing so. The overview for episode 9, the Waterbending Scroll, is from avatar.fandom.com. So Katara begins teaching Aang waterbending. To her fury, not only is he a fast learner, but he eventually surpasses her in skill. The group travels to a nearby town, finding a waterbending scroll at a store run by pirates. Determined to surpass Aang, Katara steals the scroll, causing the pirates to chase the group, though they manage to escape. Later, Zuko runs into the pirates. Zuko makes a deal with the pirates, saying that if the pirates capture Aang for him, he will find the scroll for the pirates. Zuko proceeds to capture Katara, and the pirates capture Aang and Sokka. A fight breaks out between Zuko's crew and the pirates when the latter learns Aang is the Avatar. During the commotion, the group escapes with the scroll. So, yeah, Waterbending Scroll. What do you think? What are your thoughts about this episode, baby?
Yeah, I think that it starts off and we see that Aang is a very talented bender.
Yeah.
Right away, and I'm not a huge fan of Katara in this episode.
I know.
I feel like I am never a fan in this first book of Katara. But she just kind of is not that cool right now. Yeah.
You have to give her some credit though, because she is a comforter. She's very emotional.
Yeah.
She's very she's empathetic and really helps Aang, but also just emotional. She lets her own ego and emotions get the better of her.
Yeah, I guess she's a feeler.
She's a feeler.
She feels things. But she that's, it starts off where she's teaching Aang, and I like in the description, it's eventually Aang surpasses her, but it's not eventually, it's right away. He's an avatar, you know, and plus I think that he just is naturally just a very strong bender.
Yeah.
Because
he's mastered air.
Yeah.
So it's Katara, come on, give him some credit.
Air though?
Well, I thought he did, technically.
He's only 12.
I know, but that's why the monks were just I think that's why in my head, the monks are yeah, he's ready. We need to hurry up and tell him that he's the Avatar, so he
Yeah.
can master the rest of the elements.
I like I said in the last episode, I don't think that that's why they did that. I think it's
True.
because they just felt scared and they needed to like rush the process.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
Well, he's a powerful bender.
But yeah, I mean, anyways, he's a powerful bender, and I think that why he's so good with air is just because he is just such a air nomad at heart, and yeah, he just does things kind of on the fly, and I think it even like surprises him like how good he is at air bending and just bending in general.
That's true.
Yeah.
He is very on the fly. It's kind of funny, like at the very, very beginning. The very first clip of this episode is that they're like up flying on top of Appa, and he's just like pacing back and forth on Appa, being like, I'm so like, Avatar Roku told me that I have to master all the elements by summer's end and defeat the Fire Lord, and he's like getting overwhelmed and anxious and all of this, and then they get to the waterfall, and all of his anxiety just leaves, and he just like forgets like why they're even there. He just like wants to play and hang out with Appa, and then Katara's like, remember why we hurt Aang? And he's like, oh yeah. So he definitely just I love the little playfulness of he's a kid, and also he's like definitely air nomad.
Yeah, an airbender for sure. But yeah, so he does like this huge wave, and Katara's like, this has taken me for months, and she can't even really move the water, and he does this like huge like wall of water, and it comes down and splashes Appa and Sokka, and sends their supplies down the river, and that's why they're in like this town looking for supplies in the first place. And I think it's hilarious that Sokka's just like, so we have this much money, we only have 3 like copper coins left, and Aang's just like, he's the one that sent all the supplies down the water, and he's like, oh, Sokka, sorry, we only have 2 left because I bought this, and he like sticks it out, and he's all proud, and he's like, I bought this flying bison whistle. And both Katara and Sokka are just like, what the heck, man,
like, come on.
Yeah.
But that's when we get to see the bison whistle for the first start and realize that it comes to use. Yeah. Later on.
For sure. And so I had a thought, because this is where we meet the pirates. Yeah. When they're in the town. And I had a thought, because Aang's just like, oh, I've dealt with these kinds of people before. Yeah. Aang must have just been like, have traveled so much.
You think?
Before he frozen, before he was frozen, because, he knew King Bumi from Omashu, and he's obviously like ran into pirates before and stuff. So he's probably just like, like you said, he's just an air nomad. Yeah, at his very core.
Yeah, that is true, because he said that he's had Fire Nation friends before. Yeah. Like before the war.
Yeah. So crazy.
So
he's traveled a ton.
Yeah. Yeah. Will they ever? I wonder if they'll ever make a series of Aang's life before he.
Oh, that would be so cool if they
that'd
did
be
that.
So cool. Yeah. I wonder if they've like, I don't know, written a book or something like that.
Maybe they have. Yeah.
I don't know.
But I've never seen anything.
I have never seen anything.
Yeah, that would be so cool though.
Be very
just his adventures.
Yeah. Of Aang before he was the Avatar. Before responsibilities.
Right. Yeah. And so, so they meet these pirates. Aang's trying to like haggle with them. And Katara sees that they have a waterbending scroll in their possession, and it ends up being like so much money. And then they find out that these pirates had stolen the scroll. And then Katara just wants to get out of there. And when they get out of there, the pirates are like, hey, you guys stop. And they start chasing them. And then we come to find out that it's because Katara stole it. Yeah.
What do you think about that? Honestly, I remember when I was younger watching that and being like, what?
Like, why are they chasing her? Or why did she
stole?
Yeah.
You know?
That's another reason why I didn't like her in this episode. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not
because
a Katara
she
hater.
Stole? Or...
Well, I think that I think it's because she's just like, she plays this motherly role and is like constantly telling them what they did wrong or what they should
be doing.
Then, and then she just like totally stole this waterbending scroll, and she justifies it, but I guess it is like it does make a lot of sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
And once she explains why she stole it, and she's like, they stole it from waterbenders, you know, and it's not even supposed to be with them. Then I understand that she's just a passionate girl, you know. She's passionate, and she just like is down for the cause and just like hates injustice. And
yeah, that is so true. Hates injustice.
Yeah.
Down to her core. Before they run off with this girl, Aang tries to haggle the pirates, and he's just like, with the copper pieces, he's like what you said, where he was like trying to haggle them. He'd be like, what about 1 copper piece? What about 2 copper pieces? And he says it like in a pirate accent. Obviously, I tried so hard.
That part is so funny.
But that was so funny. I remember like quoting that part
all the time.
Yes, multiple times.
Yeah, same.
Every time I had a penny.
2 copper pieces. And the pirate's just like,
yeah, no.
But it's so funny. I love the confidence. So
I do.
Yeah.
I agree. It's funny though. When the pirates start attacking them and they're running through the village or whatever, and guess who we see again? Yeah,
the Cabbage Man.
The Cabbage Man.
Let's go.
The Cabbage Man is there. Poor Cabbage Man. Poor cabbage cart. It's funny because Aang, all of them get through it, and then Aang uses the cabbage cart to stop one of the groups of pirates.
Yeah.
And the Cabbage Man is just like, I should have never left Omashu or something like that.
Yeah. He's like, this place is worse than Omashu.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that was funny to see him.
Yeah.
But anyways, they end up getting away from the pirates, got the scroll, and end up going back to their waterfall camp.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's kind of Sokka says something to Katara, or like to Aang, and he's like, you got duped. She's like acting like she got the scroll for you, but she's really trying to learn herself. And yeah, what did you think about that part?
About Sokka saying that? Or
well, just about that part in general, because it proves to be true that she's kind of a little jealous of Aang.
Definitely,
like kind of passing her. And
yeah, I think it's pretty, goes deep with that. Like, Sokka's making fun of her like a normal older brother would, sort of thing. He still calls it like this magical stuff.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. She just is like, I feel like, you know, she's been wanting so bad to master and be a waterbender, you know, share and be a part of like who she is.
Right.
So bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
That is interesting. I thought the fact, like, their whole interactions with each other and her getting jealous so quickly, just their children,
with
their kids,
Aang and
with Aang.
Katara.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because then she, like, there's like this one form in the waterbending scroll that she's trying to do, and she just can't get it. And Aang gets it on the first try, and then she's just like, can you stop being a know-it-all? And just like literally yells at him.
Yeah.
Point number 3.
Yes.
Why I don't like Katara in this episode.
Don't do that to her. Don't
kidding,
do that to her.
Yeah, and then I think, Aang starts to tear up and she realizes that that's probably pretty crazy on her part.
I know. I wrote in my notes, I was like, Katara needs to chill.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's jealous.
For real.
She just needs to chill. But she says sorry pretty quickly, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we can all learn from that.
Yeah. For sure.
But she still wakes up in the middle of the night and causes the pirates to come find him.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, and so I wanted to mention, Uncle Iroh makes him and Zuko's whole crew stop at a village because he lost one of his Paisho lotus tiles, and ends up overhearing these pirates saying that they lost Aang and them, and so they're back on their trail even though he felt like they were wasting time.
Zuko, even though Zuko thought Uncle Iroh was wasting time. I mean, look, ends up finding King of the gang.
Yeah, that just goes to show that sometimes you just gotta go with the flow and everything will work out.
And also, it's just Uncle Iroh, man.
Yeah.
Do you really know more than you let on?
I know. You never know because he's always kind of playing the middleman or the middle way of just we can do this or we can't or whatever.
That's true.
But yeah, so that's when the pirates and Zuko kind of hatched this plan to catch them, and something that I wrote down in my notes is how smart Zuko is.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
I made that note as well. Zuko he shows his strategy skills, which I mean, Uncle Iroh was talking about strategy before,
right
at the very beginning.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is cool. he always kind of foreshadows
right
things, and he's always teaching Zuko a lesson without coming out and spelling it out for him.
Correct.
But yeah, I wrote that down, that Zuko is just he's become really smart, and I also think that Sokka is just really smart, and the reason why what?
Oh, I said right, but tell me why.
Yeah, I mean the reason why I say that is just because they end up, so Katara's waterbending and trying, and they hear her and capture her, and then they capture Aang and Sokka, and they're about to make the exchange, and Sokka's like, wow, you're really gonna give the Avatar up? And he's making this true. So that the pirates and Zuko's crew kind of do what pirates do, and they're gonna take the biggest bounty. And he's just I mean, the Fire Lord would give you so much gold or whatever, riches, if you brought him the Avatar. And so the pirates, I mean, they start fighting with Zuko and his crew.
Yeah. Oh, that was really cool. I thought before they even start fighting each other, and they just have Katara, I thought it was interesting that Zuko shows Katara her necklace and tries to bargain with her, being like, I could give you this necklace back if you give me the Avatar.
Right.
And he just it shows kind of his conniving. It was kind of evil.
It is. He's definitely showing his Fire Nation side there.
Yeah. But again, he explains that he needs the Avatar to restore his honor.
Yeah.
And that's what his goal is. It's his honor.
Yeah, it's interesting that he shares that with Katara right there. He's just I gotta get something that I lost, which is my honor.
Right.
And it's just that's interesting he would say that.
Right.
And that's the first time we see this sexual tension.
I know. Zutara all the way.
We see this Zutara in this episode.
Let us know what team you are. Zutang or not Zutang. What is it? Katang?
I think they
Katang and Zutara. I don't know, the ship names.
Yeah.
But real question is, babe, are you Zutara or are you Katara and Aang? Katang.
You know, I gotta go with Aang, but it just makes a lot of sense with those
Zuko
other two. But anyways, we won't talk about that too much. But
yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about with this episode? I feel like this episode, like, there's not a ton, except for I feel like
insights.
Yeah, it is like developing them a little bit more. Like you see that Zuko is becoming more of like a strategist, and same with Sokka. But then the cool thing that I think that they developed in this one is this is the first time that you see like a non-bender group go up against benders and hold their own, you know.
That
that kind of
that is true. Goes to foretell our next episode.
Yeah, and you see that like the pirates, the pirates are just normal people.
Wow, that is a good insight.
Yeah,
baby. That's really good. I like that. I did also hate the interaction of the pirate reptile bird against Momo.
Right, yeah.
I hated that, but Momo had his own or her own. I don't know. Their own.
Yeah. Yeah, so the pirates, whatever that thing is.
Whatever that was.
Yeah.
But the cool thing was, in the end, Aang blows the bison whistle to get them out of there. They were stuck at this waterfall, and Aang blows the whistle, and Appa comes to save them.
Yeah.
So again, the whistle.
Yeah, it comes full circle.
Yeah.
And Uncle Iroh, that just
that was also at the end.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm gonna say is that Uncle Iroh and Aang are very similar.
Oh.
And where it's like they are just enjoying the journey of life.
Yeah.
And they end up doing like, or running into the right people, or being in the right place at the right time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, did you want to say, because I know what you're talking about with Uncle Iroh at the end.
No, I know that, but let's go into that a little bit more. I really like that. Like, going with the flow of things and just enjoying the present. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, enjoying the present and just honestly just doing what you want to do. Not being shackled by any kind of honor or, you know, what people think that you should be doing. Right. Or, you know, because they're really, I think, in tune with like their playful, childlike selves. And they're two of the most powerful benders in the entire series, you know.
True.
And and it's just really like there's just like seen and unseen forces that are happening all the time, you know?
Okay. Philosopher Beav, let's go. Keep going.
Yeah. I mean, I think that those two characters are just like always such a good reminder to just like not take life so seriously.
Right.
And
things come to you.
Yeah, things come to you, and it'll always work out in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I really believe in that. The law of attraction is real, especially when you are, when you're doing what you just want to do. Yeah. And you feel called to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool, baby.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you for that.
Of course, babe.
Just the end, I guess, with that one part. Uncle Iroh. I really like that they're bringing up this lotus tile so much because they have very close-up shots of the lotus tile itself, which of course comes later on. But the Uncle Iroh is like, oh, Zuko, you won't believe it, but I had my Pai Sho tile in my robes the whole time.
Yeah.
He brings it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, again,
yeah. You don't know if it's just like
Uncle Iroh.
if it's just like this weird, like, annoying mistake, you know,
Right.
or if it's just
meant to be.
but whatever it is, it's, you know, it brought them to the Avatar, and
It did.
yeah.
Do you think, because we know that Uncle Iroh noticed the dragon in the Spirit World episode, do you think Uncle Iroh has any sort of higher power in regards to that? Like seeing, like knowing more, like being in tune more of like maybe where the Avatar is? So, like, this whole, it, like, is twisting my mindset so much to be like, is Uncle Iroh, is he really the mastermind, you know?
Yeah.
Does he really know more? We've had this debate before.
Yeah, and I honestly think that there's a lot that goes, I think that he is very, like, I think he is a great, like, strategist himself.
Yeah.
And I also think that he is just like very in tune with like the spirit world or whatever. And so all of that like kind of together kind of like makes him know and follow his own intuition and knows that it has like some kind of purpose, even if that purpose is like stopping to get like food or something, you know, like it all serves this purpose. And I think he gets that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll continue watching the series and we'll just like gather evidence
for that.
For that.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, for listening to Avatar Tea Time. Have a good night.
Yeah.